What is up, guys, and welcome back to part 27 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the Monaco Grand Prix. If you've missed season 1 and of course the first 5 rounds of this season 2, then you can click the little card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens right now to go catch up with everything that's happened over season 1 and over season 2 so far. But we're here for the big one, the Monaco Grand Prix, the jewel in the F1 calendar, and it is a race that I definitely want to win here today. We had 3 races at the start of the season. We also had a second place, but then unfortunately we followed that up with a very disappointing race in Spain where we actually crashed out. So we will be looking to bounce back here in Monaco with a win around the Principalities. But can we do it here today? We're just going to have to wait and see. Hopefully the car is good enough. I mean, we're not really set up for downforce, but hopefully we can get past a few drivers and possibly have a really decent race here today. I think a few of the other teams have upgraded their cars, so we're going to go check that out now. So we are here in the laptop, and Manor have actually upgraded quite a lot on their car right now, and so Red Bull, they've done some upgrades as well, and Williams finally upgrading their car, which to be honest they really do need to, because Williams are right down there behind Manor. Manor have jumped up above Force India, Sauber and Williams. They are doing a really good job in the vehicle performance comparison. Red Bull Racing still have a long way to go to catch up to the likes of us, Ferrari, Mercedes, and of course their sister team Toro Rosso, who shouldn't really be above them, so that is a big surprise as well. But hopefully those upgrades don't affect too much compared to our running in the races, and we're going to find out as we head over to practice.
Welcome to Monaco for this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. It's a race that is truly steeped in history, but before the drivers turn their attention to winning, they first need to get through today's tricky practice session.
Here we are then in the practice session for today's Monaco Grand Prix, just going through the track acclimatization, and we luckily managed to get a purple score through there, which means we get a lot of resource points, and hopefully we can upgrade the car after this race and before the Canadian Grand Prix. We're focusing more on straight line speed for those sort of races. We've got Canada, Azerbaijan, Austria, Britain, Germany, all coming up, so we need to focus more on straight line speed. Then we went and did the tyre wear management, and unfortunately this happened on the tyre wear management. We just lost the back end, and as we try to reverse to get out of the way of everyone, we put it into the wall, and yeah, we lost our front right tyre, which meant we were out of FP1 here in Monaco. Very disappointing, but nevertheless we were going to try to go out in FP2 and try and do a lap on the tyre wear management, but unfortunately the same thing happened. We had a very difficult practice sessions. We crashed out a couple of times, and I think in the third one we just could not get the qualifying pace anyway. So very disappointing. We're right to the back of the field, and that doesn't really set us up well for the rest of the race weekend, but hopefully we can bounce back for that. Hopefully have a good qualifying session, then a good race, and really try and get some decent points here today at Monaco. But without any further ado, let's head over to qualifying for the Monaco Grand Prix.
Here we are at one of the most difficult circuits on the racing calendar. Welcome to Monaco for today's Formula One qualifying.
Here we are then for qualifying, and I'm not too sure whether we will get out of Q1 in this session. We really struggled in practice. You know, we had quite a few collisions with the wall, and it really stopped us from getting a good running out there on track. So hopefully we have a clean session here in qualifying. We can get some good running, get some good lap times out, get into Q2, possibly get into Q3 as well, and definitely challenge for a good position in the top 10 shootout. But for now, you know, we're just going to get through Q1. We're going to focus on that, so let's head out on track and see what we can do. Here we are then, first lap in qualifying, and it's not looking too good at the moment as we come down towards the line, set our lap time. It's a 1:15.7, and it's 1.3 seconds slower than Sebastian Vettel, so it's not the best lap times at the moment. I think it might be just about on the verge of getting us through into Q2, but we decided to go out for one more lap, and at the moment we're 1.3 seconds faster coming down towards the line. We go quickest of everyone so far in the session. It's not the end of the session though, there's still a long way to go, but that lap time was good enough to get us into Q2, so fantastic result from us there into Q2 in P6, and then unfortunately the rain started to come down at the end of the session, which means it is going to be a wet qualifying Q2 session, so I'm not too sure how we're going to do in that. We're not exactly too good in the rain anyway, and around a street circuit that's going to be very difficult indeed. But we qualified in 6th position, Jolyon Palmer also into Q2, and let's find out how we do in that session. Here we are then in Q2. Obviously it's a wet session, the rain has come down, so we had to go onto the intermediate tyres, and before we'd even started a lap. Unfortunately, there we go into the wall on the exit of Raskas, break our front wing, and got to come straight back into the pits, which is really, really disappointing there in qualifying. It means that we lose out our running at the beginning of the session. And then somewhere on the lap, when we go to set our first lap, we've broken our front wing once again, and we're only good enough to set a lap time that's 2 seconds off the pace of Lewis Hamilton. It's 1:30.464. So a very, very disappointing lap once again, and we will definitely be looking to improve that. And down towards the line so far, 7 tenths faster than our previous best time across the line, and it's a 1:29.7, but it's still only good enough for 16th place. And despite Jolyon Palmer setting his best time on the wet tyres, no he didn't, he set his best time on the intermediate tyres I think actually, but we didn't get through. We did not get through into Q3, which is very, very disappointing. Pascal Wehrlein is into Q3 in 10th position, a fantastic result for him there, but very, very disappointing for us not to get into Q3, and I suppose it was just the wet weather. We're not exactly too good in the rain anyway, and around the street circuit was just very, very difficult. As you saw, we broke our front wing twice, so a little bit disappointing. No other real surprise results in qualifying apart from maybe Jenson Button getting into Q3, but I suppose the McLarens aren't exactly too bad anyway on the game. But yeah, very, very disappointing to be out of qualifying, and we will be starting today's race down in 16th position. But it wasn't just myself. Jolyon Palmer also struggled in the wet conditions with this car, and he qualifies in 14th place as well. So we're really, really struggling in this qualifying session, but hopefully both Renault drivers can bounce back in the race and we can get a really, really good result and hopefully get some decent points as well. But let's find out how we do as we head over to the race for the Monaco Grand Prix.
Motor racing has come a long way since the first Grand Prix of the early 20th century. We have faster cars, bigger circuits, highly trained drivers who've dedicated their lives to racing. But still, we return here. Still, it remains the most desired victory in Formula One. Still, we race the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today, though, ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. As the drivers complete their preparations down below us on the grid, one man who's no stranger to the pre-race pressure is Anthony Davidson, who joins me in the commentary box today. Great to have you with us, Ant. I'm sure you can tell us all about what goes through a driver's head before lights out.
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
It's race day here in Monaco, starting down in 16th position. Not the best of qualifying sessions yesterday, so we will be looking to bounce back from this position. Same as Spain, really, but this time, hopefully, we don't crash out of the race. But it's going to be very, very compact. It's going to be very, very difficult to overtake, so we've got to make sure our strategy is very, very good to try and get past everybody else. I think we are going to go for a one-stop strategy. I mean, tyre wear is not particularly that bad around this circuit. We are starting on the ultra soft tyres at the moment. I'm not too sure whether I will change that or not, but for now we're starting on the ultra soft tyres, then pitting for the super softs, and then that should take us to the end of the race. So it's going to be a one-stop strategy. There's no other real different strategy to choose from there. I mean, tyre wear might be a little bit bad towards the end of the race, but hopefully we can just hang in there and make sure that we get a really, really decent result. But being at the back of the field, we've just got to wait a little while before we get underway in the formation lap. And here we go, Nico Hulkenberg just ahead of us in 15th. We've got Jolyon Palmer, our teammate, right in front of us, and we will be looking to get past these guys as soon as possible. Maybe get quite a few moves down into Saint-Devote, but we do want to be a little bit careful down into there, because obviously we don't want to break our front wing very, very early on in the race, because that won't set us up well for the rest of the race. And obviously we want to get some good running and possibly get past the other guys as well. But here we are on the starting grid. The lights come coming on. It's 5 red lights. Lights out. And away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. Losing the back end just a little bit. Nearly putting myself into Nico Hülkenberg. Got held up by Roman Grosjean. Now we're going up the inside of all these guys. Pascal Wehrlein currently in 10th position, but we take that away from him. We move up into 10th. Right behind Danny Kvyat now, who is in 9th position. Jenson Button having a decent race as well, up into 7th place in this Monaco Grand Prix, having a little look around the outside of Danny Kvyat in towards the casino section, and now down towards Mirabeau. Maybe have a look up the inside of Danny Kvyat into this corner. We do. Up the inside of Mirabeau, side by side with Danny Kvyat. Can we get the move done? Yes, we can. And now maybe have a little look up the inside of Carlos Sainz in towards the Lowe's hairpin. Carlos Sainz actually goes into the wall. We gave him loads of room in towards the Lowe's hairpin, but unfortunately for him, he actually goes into the wall. I'm not too sure whether he got any front wing damage. I didn't see any debris on the outside of the circuit, but here we are cutting a few laps later on board with the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen. Daniel Ricciardo actually locking up massively on the exit of the Nouvelle chicane. That allows Kimi Raikkonen to go past, and now Jenson Button and Carlos Sainz going side by side through to back. We're just going to follow through there at the moment. Maybe look and see if we can get past both of these guys. And it looks like Carlos Sainz has got past the McLaren of Jenson Button, going through the swim pool section now, and now down towards Raskas. Maybe have a little look up the inside into here. Jenson Button runs it wide. We got up the inside of the McLaren driver. Great move up the inside of Raskas there on the McLaren driver of Jenson Button. Moves us up into 8th position, and up next for us is Carlos Sainz, who will be looking to get past in the next couple of laps. And here we are right on the tail of the Toro Rosso driver, so close to his gearbox right now on lap 7. We will have DRS, we will have slipstream down in towards Saint-Devote, but can we get a move done? We're so quick in a straight line in this Renault. Up the inside in towards Saint-Devote. Can we hold it up the inside? Yes, we can. We don't put it into the barrier. We don't put Carlos Sainz into the barrier as well, and that's a very good clean overtake in towards Saint-Devote on Carlos Sainz to move us up into 7th position. And up next for us is Daniel Ricciardo. We just cut a little bit of the swim pool section through there, but coming through into Raskas now. Are we coming into pits? Yes, we are. Lap 16, coming in for our first pit stop and our only pit stop in this race. Nothing really happened between our overtake on Carlos Sainz and our first pit stop. We were just trying to keep Carlos Sainz behind us, but because it is so tight around the circuit, he just wasn't able to have a little nose up the inside. So there wasn't really much point me showing you all of that, but a very nice pit stop there from the Renault team. No front wing changes, so that is very, very decent as well. And coming out of the pit lane, and it's nice and tidy, nearly crossing the white line there on exit, and once again nearly crossing it again, and we're just going to come out just behind Pascal Wehrlein, who is in 11th, and Fernando Alonso, who is 10th. So we will be looking to get past both these guys within the next couple of laps, because we don't want to be held up, and hopefully try and push on to get the leaders like the Ferraris and the Mercedes in this race. But cutting ahead to lap 22, Pascal Wehrlein finally comes into the pits. He held us up for such a long time. I mean, from lap 17 to lap 22. We were held up there by Pascal Wehrlein, and we lost so much time to the leaders. And now on board with the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, who's following Jenson Button, who is actually a lapped driver, so he's going to go past him on the right hand side. Oh no, he gives him a knock through the tunnel there, and that is Jenson Button out of the Monaco Grand Prix. Virtual safety car is deployed in this race. That's going to neutralise the race and also help us with tyres. We can put it down into lean mix and sort of save our tyres for a little bit. So that's really going to help us, because tyre wear, we were struggling in this race. I mean, the rear tyres and the traction was a big struggle for us, but here we are having a look at replay on board with Jenson Button. So he's just minding his own business. Lets in Max Verstappen through on the left hand side. He just gives him a little clip there, but that's enough to remove his front right tyre, completely destroying his car. And that is Jenson Button out of the race. Let's have a look on board with Max Verstappen. So we obviously saw this already where he follows him in the slipstream. We didn't actually see the contact. So is it major contact on board with Max Verstappen? Hardly anything at all on board with Max Verstappen. You know, you would hardly notice that you even clipped Jenson Button there. But unfortunately, he is out of the race. And we are now on lap 25 as we hunt down Marcus Ericsson, who is a lap driver. There is Felipe Nasr also going through turn 1 as Marcus Ericsson lets us through. We get past 1 and very, very clean there. We did manage to get through Ericsson nice and cleanly. I thought that was going to be very, very close between the two drivers, as we are now on the back of Felipe Nasr, who gives us the room around the outside into the casino section, and that is job done. I think he actually put his car into the wall there on the outside. I'm not too sure at the moment, but down in towards Mirabeau. Job done on Felipe Nasr, and we are still in 7th place. We've got Carlos Sainz still very much on our tail right now, definitely trying to get past it. He's got a great drive out of Portelais going through the tunnel. It's side by side, going down towards the Nouvelle chicane. Who's going to come out on top under braking into this corner? Oh, Carlos Sainz gives us a little nudge. That puts us off on our braking and actually makes us lock up the car and go into his side. Now, then we went side by side in towards the Nouvelle chicane, down towards the back. It's still side by side between the two of us. Who's going to come out on top through the first part of the swimming pool? Looks like we are, and we just managed to nick past Carlos Sainz there without any contact, and very, very nice clean racing between the two of us here on lap 30 at the moment. Carlos Sainz still very much behind us. Will he be able to get past us down the straight? No, he won't, as we cut ahead a couple of laps later, as looks like Carlos Sainz once again going to have a look up the inside in towards the casino section. We give him the rim round the outside of the casino section. He goes into the barrier, breaks half his front wing there. Now going in towards Mirabeau side by side at the moment. Still very much side by side. We've got our teammate Jolyon Palmer right behind us. We have a little look up the inside in towards the Lowe's hairpin. Then Carlos Sainz turns into us. Then he goes into the wall. There was not enough room for two of us through there, so I was a little bit disappointed that I actually went for that move. But now we are right behind Carlos Sainz. Can we get past him in the DRS zone? No, he's actually coming into the pits due to that front wing damage, as we are now on board with a Haas driver of Esteban Gutierrez, who actually gives, oh, he's given him a nick, just like Max Verstappen did to Jenson Button. Esteban Gutierrez has taken out Marcus Ericsson, and the safety car is deployed in this Monaco Grand Prix with 3 races, with 3 laps left to go in the race. A bit of a surprise that it's taken this long for a normal safety car to come out. Let's have a look at replay on board with Esteban Gutierrez as he goes down in towards the tunnel. So he goes to the right-hand side, just like Max Verstappen did on Jenson Button. Just like Max Verstappen, you can hardly tell that there was any contact between the two drivers. He's on board with Marcus Ericsson. That shows a different story. And Marcus Ericsson just hugs the left-hand side. Ericsson just piles straight through on the right-hand side, takes off his front right tyre, and that's very, very disappointing for the Sauber driver. Here we are on board with Romain Grosjean. Though safety car is now out, so that's holding him up, and he just goes straight into the back of the safety car. What is Romain Grosjean doing there? He just goes straight into the back of the safety car. Can't be any patient behind the safety car, and just drives straight into the back of it. But here we are on board with the other Haas driver, who is held up by the safety car, and he does the same thing. What is wrong with the Haas drivers? Do they not understand how the safety car works? So it looks like Lewis Hamilton went straight into the front of him. Let's have a look at board with Lewis Hamilton. He does, and he actually loses front right tyre. Lewis Hamilton is out of today's Monaco Grand Prix because Esteban Gutierrez could not understand how to overtake a safety car. It puts him into a spin, and that's how Lewis Hamilton is out of today's race. But the safety car is now in. Green flag racing once again. We've got a big gap to Jolyon Palmer, who is currently in 7th place, so hopefully we can hold on for the last 2 laps in this race. But our tyre wear is looking atrocious at the moment, 68% on that rear right tyre, so we're really struggling with traction at the moment. We should move up into 5th position now, and yes we do, up into 5th place after Lewis Hamilton has crashed out. So far so good for our Monaco Grand Prix. We're in 5th position, but here we are on the final lap of this race. Jolyon Palmer looking to maybe have a move down into Sainte Devote. He can't quite get through there. Now uphill towards the casino section, so much faster than us upon exit, but unfortunately just gets caught up. There's no room for overtake through there into the casino section. We run very, very wide like we did on Carlos Sainz, and as we come back onto the racing line, we give our teammate a little nudge there. Not enough room to get too much damage, but it was still enough to put Jolyon Palmer off. But side-by-side in towards Mirabeau on the final lap of this Monaco Grand Prix. Side-by-side action. Oh, more contact as we go in towards the Lowe's hairpin. And it looks like Jolyon Palmer squeezes us out and gets the barrier. There's contact, massive contact between the two of us. We're sort of pushing him out of the way. Jolyon Palmer blocks half the track. We get past him in the end, but there is big contact between the two of us. There's definitely going to be meetings after the race between the two Renault drivers. And that is a very, very disappointing way to end the race. We've currently got no front wing, whereas Jolyon Palmer does have a front wing. So it's going to be really, really difficult for us to defend for the rest of the race. We're literally just putting our car in the middle of the circuit, just taking it very, very easy into all these corners, just trying to make sure that Jolyon Palmer does not get past us on this final lap. Otherwise, that would be very, very disappointing in this race. We're holding up a lot of drivers behind us, including I believe Daniel Ricciardo is one of them, and the McLaren of Fernando Alonso, and of course the Sauber, who is lapped of Marcus Ericsson. But here we are coming in towards Rascasse. Couple of corners left to go in this Monaco Grand Prix. Through the Anthony Nodes corner, we're still ahead of Jolyon Palmer. Can we hold on down towards the line? Jolyon Palmer's going to have a good run. He's going to have DRS down towards the line, but we've got the job done, and we took home a fantastic P5.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
A great win then for the Maranello team today. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, so the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
So a brilliant result there at the Monaco Grand Prix. We didn't exactly have the cleanest of races, but still, P5, an absolute fantastic result, and we would definitely take those 10 points. A little bit disappointed that Kimi Räikkönen has gained 8 points on us in the championship, but I think that might actually close the gap to be even in the championship. I'm not too sure. We'll just have to wait and see when we have a look at the driver's standings. But Sebastian Vettel, he won today's race, now starting to really pull this season back after having a very, very disappointing start to the season due to reliability. Kimi Räikkönen finishes in second, making it a Ferrari 1-2 here in Monaco. Max Verstappen, last year's Monaco Grand Prix winner, finishing on the podium in third. Nico Rosberg, he finished in fourth with myself in fifth. Jolyon Palmer, my teammate, finishing behind me in sixth. There was a little bit of contact, and there'll definitely be words after today's race between the two of us. Fernando Alonso, he finished in seventh with Daniel Ricciardo in eighth. Carlos Sainz in 9th, and Pascal Wehrlein finishes in 10th, getting a championship point there for Manor. So that is an absolute fantastic result. Let's have a look at how this affects us in the driver's standings, though. And taking a look in the driver's standings, it is now even between myself and Kimi Räikkönen at the 6th round of this Formula 1 2017 season. It's so close between the two of us, and hopefully that can continue as the season goes on. It could possibly even Sebastian Vettel get involved with that. He's now on 53 points. I mean, he is 50 points behind us in the championship, but if he has a good string of races like he has done at the moment, then he could definitely catch up to us and possibly even challenge us for the championship as well. Roman Grosjean quite a way off though in third. But like I said last time out at the Spanish Grand Prix, it's still very early stage. I mean, we may not be up there at the end of the season. We could drop down massively. Sebastian Vettel, Nico Rosberg, and Lewis Hamilton. Okay, maybe not Lewis Hamilton, but those Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel could definitely overtake us in the championship, and we could definitely drop off. So it's very, very early stages, and let's not take too much consideration about the driver standings at the moment. But looking at the constructors very quickly, and in the constructors, we've unfortunately dropped down into second place, 11 points behind Ferrari after they got that fantastic 1-2 here in Monaco. So we will be looking to maybe try and re-overtake them, but just like driver standings, there's still a long way left to go in the season, so we're not going to focus too much on that. But that is it for today's Monaco Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Taking a quick little look at the rivalry update between myself and Kimi Räikkönen, and it looks like he had a very, very good race here today at the Monaco Grand Prix. However, we did get the fastest lap, we did get a faster Sector 2, and we did get a faster Sector 3 as well, which makes it 8-11 so far in the rivalry update between the two of us. We now have 1,329 resource points, which is enough to either upgrade our chassis weight, our downforce, or our drag. So we were thinking about maybe going for drag or engine power, maybe saving up for engine power at the next race in Canada, ready for, you know, the likes of Canada, Austria, Azerbaijan, Britain, Germany. But we decided actually just to go for chassis weight, because that gives us the most vehicle performance comparison like upgrade against Ferrari and Mercedes. And if those guys don't upgrade their car, then we could actually be the best team in Formula 1, which is obviously our end goal. So we weren't too sure whether to go for downforce or chassis weight, but it looks like chassis weight just gives us a little bit more compared to what downforce would give us. So we did actually decide to go for that one and upgrade. So we were kind of thinking about maybe saving for the engine power, but in the end we decided to go for the chassis weight. So we are going to be upgrading that at the Canadian Grand Prix, so hopefully that will give us better acceleration out the corners, because obviously we will be lighter. So yeah, we can look forward to that in Canada. But that is it for today's Monaco Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel if you are new around here. We're going to have this career mode coming to you every single day for the whole of Season 2. And of course, if you are subscribed, then you never have to miss an episode from me. But that is it for today's race. I will see you next time at the Canadian Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.